We are track record.
We are never finished.
What's up, you guys?
What's up, you guys? It's great to be back. 2019.
Did we do our last podcast before 2019?
I have no idea.
And it's all a blur.
I actually think we did it after 2019, to be honest with you.
Well, regardless, happy 2019.
Today's topic, as you guys all know, and if you don't know, let me drop some knowledge. So beginning the 1st of this year, January 2019, we
What's going on,
passed
Jordan?
a new law.
We did?
Yeah, we did.
You and I?
California.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Now, this law has already been in place since 2001, which is basically your exhaust cannot exceed 95 decibels. Loud.
Oh, put that on silent, man. Party foul.
Dude, that's $1,000 fine.
It's $1,000 fine. Dude, I everywhere I go, I think I told you about this, but everywhere I go, as soon as I hear that loud exhaust or any exhaust, $1,000 fine just every time.
Every
$1,000 fine for me.
But anyways, yeah, so 95 decibels is how loud it can be. But officers really never enforced it because I feel like it was just too much paperwork and, you know, it was hard to prove because you'd have to actually do a test. But now, the measure or the law that was just passed affects how the officers can enforce that law. And that's what everyone is up in arms about. And today, we are going to share our thoughts on that, as well as try to give you guys as much information as we possibly can about how the law works and maybe potentially how to avoid that $1,000 fine.
Really? How to avoid it?
Maybe,
possibly. That's a
potentially.
teaser. Use this one weird trick to get out of the $1,000 fine here in California starting 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Not clickbait.
Stay till the end of the video and you'll find out the answer. But first, buy our book.
No book. Buy our stuff though, neverfinish.com.
Yes.
See that hat right there? That's for sale.
.com.
I'm not wearing the shirt right now. I should have been.
Shameless plug. We also have stickers. And if you're listening to this,
you can see it
on YouTube Red or Premium, where you can listen to offline stuff on your way to work or school or just, getting ready. Neverfinish.com, where you can find all of your valuable Never Finish merchandise for the affordable price of whatever price is listed on the website.
Boom. There it is. All right. So, as Jordan said, you guys probably know about this law. It's been everywhere. Literally, there's been so many car channel people talking about this already. So you guys probably know the meat and potatoes of this essentially, but I know there's a little bit of misinformation saying that it's a new law. Even I thought it was a new law at some point, but like you said, this law has been around. It's just now it seems like they're actually enforcing it, although I don't know because it's just a bunch of people posting stuff. And so we don't really know if it's being enforced more than it has, but it seems that way. So that's really the important part is, who's getting tickets and, has it gotten worse? But the $1,000 fine really sucks that it's not correctable anymore at this point. I think the scariest part is the state ref part. Because $1,000, eventually, yeah, it's a little hard to swallow, but, save up a little bit and you can eventually get past that. Mm-hmm. But the state ref, you're not getting past that.
Unless you know somebody.
But I don't know. It's a little sketchy. So I'm going to jump right into my notes. I don't know if you have any mental notes, but I came prepared.
So did I. These are also my notes.
Oh, those are your notes?
Yeah.
All right. Well, so Jordan pretty much already covered the first quarter of my notes with what he said. Also, there is a petition, which I'm sure you guys know about as well.
It's on our link. We got it linked in our Instagram bio. # never finished.
And it'll be below.
No, track record. Track wreck Instagram.
Yeah. It'll also be in this description of this video as well. So if you haven't signed that petition already, definitely go and check it out. It looks like it's slowing down a little bit, around 230,000.
Yeah.
I check it every day. But
from what I've seen, I think they're they want to do a protest now. So they're asking for some funding to help.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to protest the law.
Like picket signs? Like we're going to be out there with picket signs protesting?
Maybe.
Or like we're all going to be in our cars with signs out the window?
Speaking of protesting, a little tangent here.
Oh, no.
I was on my way to work this morning, and if you guys live in the Los Angeles area, you guys might know that the teachers are on strike right now. And regardless of how you feel about that, I was on my way to work today. It was raining, and some dude in Infinity just went right through the lane and just got a bunch of teachers wet.
Really? Like he splashed?
He went through. He was on that thing, dude. And
like on purpose? Was this intentional?
I don't know. Maybe potentially, but it was.
What did you say it was? A G35?
No, it was one of the SUVs, like a QX or whatever.
It was an Infinity. It was intentional.
But it was like a big thing. So.
I'm just kidding.
It's always the Infinity.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff. Well, maybe we'll be out there pretty soon getting hit with water by Infinities for this law. I would go out for a day.
Yeah.
I mean,
Kevin's used to strikes.
Yeah.
Will he ever go on strike? Track record shows.
It's a teaser.
He's going to stop. He's not going to do it.
All right. So let me get into my notes. So you guys have probably seen the video of the cop going around where he pulls over. It appears a female driver with like a guy or whatever, and she's got an exhaust, and this guy's basically saying, due to the takeovers and the street racing in the area, I pulled you over and you're getting that $1,000 fine. And he's like, not saying it's you, but because you have certain parts, that are the takeovers and the street racer cars, the organized street racing cars have, you're now a part of that. So I think that's kind of the scariest part to me, because, I'm assuming you're on the same page here, but like the whole street takeover thing, that's not a good idea.
Yeah. From the videos I've seen of all those sideshows, I mean, it seems kind of lame. I mean, street racing, I get it. It's kind of cool. It's whatever. But the like those intersection takeovers of people doing donuts, I feel like it's kind of lame. Like you could easily, so many people get hurt, and then it just ruins one. I almost got caught in one. I was coming home from my girlfriend's house, and like right down the street, they were doing one. Yeah, and then I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was an accident. Turns out it was a street takeover, and so it was like me and some other cars were like caught. And then like right as we came up to it, all of a sudden it was like a helicopter and police cars, and I was like, crap, because I'm driving a modified car. What if they think I'm part of this?
Getting that tow truck.
Everyone just booked it. This one guy in a truck almost ran me off the road because he was trying to get away. It was a bad time. But you can easily do that for like what, $10 at Irwindale. Like Thursday nights, they have a burnout box with
not
barriers.
Convenient though.
Yeah,
and we'll talk about, I think, the reason why people don't do that in a minute, and like the whole reason that, I mean, one, it's easier, but there's a risk factor, I think, that is involved that we'll get to. So going back to the cop, basically, I won't show it here just because, copyright stuff. I don't want to even have to worry about that. But
fair use, Kevin.
I don't know as much as I should about that, so I'm not even gonna try. So here's the thing. I think the main reason that we're seeing this like crackdown on the exhausts is because I think the main reason is the takeovers, right? I think that's like the forefront of the reasons, or at least that's the excuse of why this all is happening now, is because how bad the takeovers have gotten in LA. And if you follow the Instagram pages, that it's just nuts and crazy. So I think the police or the CHP, whoever put it into effect or pushed for this to happen, was basically like, we're trying with the tow trucks. We're trying, to have you seen those tow truck lines where they just line up the tow trucks and block people in, and then everybody just gets getting towed?
No, I haven't seen that.
They'll literally take a bunch of tow trucks, like 5 to 10 tow trucks, and they'll block streets with the tow trucks, and then everybody that's stuck in there gets towed, or at least as many as they can.
Ooh.
So yeah, no, like that just shows how serious they're trying to get on these takeovers, because it's an issue. It's like it's affecting the community negatively. People are getting hurt, and the police are expected to do something about it. So eventually, I think it got to a point where the police were just like, you know what? Screw it. Screw all of you. Like, we'll make it so all of you are negatively affected by this, so that I don't know if it's like a teach you a lesson kind of thing, or if it's just, I mean, people are saying like, oh, it's to make money. The government's trying to make money off of you. But I don't really think that's it, because there's so much pushback against this. And I think the police are just at a point where they don't know what else to do. And I think this is just like a last ditch effort to correct. It's an extreme correction to an extreme problem.
I don't know, dude.
What do you think?
I'm not feeling it, because like I don't see how this exhaust law is going to stop street racing. I really don't, because if anything, other than headers and basically anything that's going to ruin your emissions, that's the only law that I think is okay, because as much as we don't like it as car people, like headers and deleting your cats frees up the flow and gives you power and stuff like that. Our smog laws have reduced smog, even though it does suck that we can't have loud cars. But as far as but it's like if you have like headers and cat deletes, you're gonna not pass emissions testing. So there's that. Right. So that's already an illegal car, and you can get in trouble for that anyways if an officer pulls you over. And they'll do that, and they probably have. But for like mufflers and for people that don't have that are like kind of emissions legal but have loud cars, like all that does is adds like what? A catback can add like maybe 7 to 10 horsepower if you have maybe a tune on your car. So it's like it's not going to really, they don't add too much horsepower to where it's like you're going to be street racing too much.
Right.
Plus, it's like I feel like a loud exhaust would help the cops find you, because if you're trying to escape from them, you have a loud car, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be able to hear where you are and stuff like that. So it's like you could have you could have a 500 horsepower car, put a muffler on it, and it's still 500 horsepower, and you're still gonna still gonna be able to street race and do the same things. You could have. Most of the sports cars these days can still do donuts stock with their stock exhausts. And they prove that in the street takeovers, the sideshows, because literally, and that's one of the reasons that this won't work. Like you said, it's not like a requirement to have an exhaust to street race and go to these sideshows, because people are literally using just grandma's stock sedan and a rental Home Depot truck. It's not like, so that's one of the reasons it's not going to work. But it's like, I think it's an attempt to, because I'm assuming that this law was made by non-car people, right? So it's an attempt to separate the people who are probably not doing this and probably not a part of these sideshows or whatever shutdowns, and from those who are probably a part of, or possibly. But that's the problem, because you can't put this kind of a law or make this kind of a change on a probably. You know what I mean? Yeah. The thing is too is like apparently the future is electric cars, and there's no point of having an exhaust law for an electric car, because I mean the Tesla Roadster that's coming out, I mean if that thing's can come everywhere and other people start creating these fast electric cars, I mean, you're good luck.
That's no fun. That's
You're
no
still
fun.
I know, but I mean, still, people could street race with freaking electric cars.
That's true.
It's going to be quiet. No one's going to even know it's going down. You know, you could probably get through multiple drag race passes with electric cars before a cop even knows what's going on.
Yeah. But this isn't a permanent fix. This is like a Band-Aid fix.
We're going to see Tesla sideshows, dude. Street takeovers, just a bunch of Model
That would be
S's,
so funny to
just
see.
doing donuts because they got tons of torque.
That would be
Fat
something
clouds
to see, actually.
Everywhere, dude.
But yeah, like, so going back to the cop in the video that's going around, it's pretty clear that he's kind of defensive right off the bat, because I don't think he really truly understands the extent of this law, this new law, or this new addition to this law, because he says it's not you guys, but you're driving one with the stuff. I think he actually says, not saying it's you guys, but you're driving one with the stuff, whatever that means, which furthers the point that they have no real cause to believe that you are involved in these events. If you can't be specific in why you're pulling somebody over, I don't think you should be pulling them over anyways. And yeah, I that's, I think, one of the main issues is because it's so broad. It's such a broad thing that it like affects literally so many people. So like going to work, I probably see like 15 to 20 cars that have modified exhausts.
I barely see any.
Really?
I didn't. I was looking today. I didn't.
But
see
your car
any
is so
cars.
loud, you can't hear anything.
No, but like I was looking. I didn't even see any sports cars on the road. They were
Really?
all sedans. I even was looking for like loud trucks, but there was nothing.
Out here, dude, we get just modified trucks. We get a lot of motorcycles, like Harleys, with just super loud exhausts.
Well, motorcycles is just something else.
But they're involved too. They're roped in too.
I don't know.
No, I'm serious. It's literally, I think I might have it here. Says the literal description of this is certain vehicle exhaust violations will no longer be correctable. A fine will become mandatory, not correctable, when louder motor vehicles and motorcycles are cited. Previously, a driver of motorcycles, blah blah blah, could fix a ticket. So, and then see a state ref. So, what are we doing on our time here? 17 minutes, 18 minutes. So that's kind of like, I think the main, I don't know, I think that's like the main problem is like, one, it's way too broad, and it's based on something that I don't think will actually work. I don't think it's like a permanent fix because,
And the scary part is like it's basically up to like the officer's discretion of how loud they are. And like I don't know about you, Kevin, or you guys listening or watching, but I feel like sports cars are getting louder with each year.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like they're trying to, if electric is the future, like they're trying to go out with a loud bang. Because it's like today is January 14th. So the new Supra and the GT500 were released today, and I heard a sound clip. And this was a stock GT500, never been released yet, and it sounded pretty loud. From the sound clip, everything Dodge makes is loud.
Yeah.
Mercedes, BMWs are loud.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and then happened.
Even the exotic cars, and then also anything with an R at the end of it. Like I know I even saw before, this one Car Spotter channel has a Jaguar F-Type SVR, and the cop pulled him over because his exhaust was too loud, but it's literally the stock exhaust just put on the sports setting. Yeah,
exactly. And I don't know if you heard, but the M4 that was pulled over and cited the $1,000 fine, because you and I know from driving the M4 that we rented, like that thing is loud, and so he got pulled over. Whoever it was,
stock is not too loud, but if you have, but the thing is like some of these manufacturers offer like factory exhaust, like the GT86 has a TRD exhaust as you can get on it. The M4 that we rented had
performance
a
exhaust.
M performance exhaust, which is a factory modification.
Yeah.
My dad's Mustang has a Roush exhaust on it.
And that's stuff that they could be pulled over for.
Yeah.
But that's factory. So nobody will really know that until you go to the court or to the state ref and prove that. But the fact that you even have to go through that just because somebody thought your exhaust was modified, I don't think is a good reason. So let's see, what else do I have here? So talking about like the police or the CHP, whoever's enforcing this law, I don't know if it's the CHP. I'm guessing it's...
I think it's both.
Everybody who's kind of enforcing this law, because it is now technically a California state law, or, you know, it's...
Measure or whatever.
Yeah, it's a revision to that law that's existing. But I don't think that they're all obviously out to get us car people. I don't think that they all truly believe that we're all a part of the problem. But I'm losing my train of thought here. But because I have my notes, because they don't know what else. I have notes. So basically what I'm trying to say is it's a last resort, which I said before. It's a last resort option, you know, because I don't think that they all believe that we're a part of the problem, but because it's such a last resort thing, they don't know what else to do. Like, what else do you do? What's a better solution, you know? So I think that's just like ruined it for everybody else, because there is no solid set solution. So everybody else just ends up, you know, having to pay for it. It's like, okay, so it's like this.
Kevin, don't make a cake reference.
I'm going there. Dude. I'm doing it.
Not
I'm going
cake.
there. It's not food this time. Cake that was a great analogy. I don't know why people got upset about that. That was perfect.
Hashtag, you know, throw a comment if you remember the cake analogy.
So it's like this. So if you have a parent, right? A parent with like 3 or 4 kids, right? And you got 3 of these kids out of the 4 kids that are using... No, sorry. If you have 1 kid out of the 4 kids that's taking the Sharpies or the markers or whatever crayons and drawing all over the walls and the couches and, you know, grandma, who doesn't move much anymore. You okay?
Choked on my boba.
You gotta be careful, dude. Those last ones, you start sucking on there and they just fly through.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
If you got 1 kid drawing on the walls and grandma, it's like the parents saying, okay, because one of you can't... You all right?
Continue.
You need some water? Because one of you can't control yourselves and use the markers responsibly and respectfully, then all of you, we're banning markers. None of you get to use the markers. You're going to have to use dirt, mud. You're going to have to resort to primal instincts and go outside and get water and mud and draw with that. You know what I mean? So it's like...
Dang.
It's still there, huh?
It really hit me hard.
Is it in your lung? Do you have a boba sitting in your lung?
No, I'm good now, I think.
Do you need me to call somebody? So what I'm trying to say is many are being punished for the actions of the few. And the other thing is, if you go on Instagram and if you go on YouTube and if you go on any of the platforms that feature these videos or anybody, I'm really proud of the car community right now, because in this dark time, everybody, I think the vast majority of people are clearly calling out the people who are doing these sideshows and going to these sideshows and saying, no, that is not what you should be doing. That is a bad idea. Do not do that. You're ruining it for everybody else. So I think it's cool that, you know, everybody is collectively coming together and trying to say that, no, that we renounce this, you know. That's pretty cool. I have enjoyed seeing that. So, because I think everybody collectively agrees that this is a little bit of an injustice to the car community and motorsport in general. So I kind of want to talk about the sideshows and why I think they are such a big problem. Is that all right with you, Jordan? We're getting into dark territory.
No, we're not.
The humanistic, the human dilemma of why do people go to these car shows? Why do you think people go to these things? It's a tough question.
For clout.
Clout. I don't even know what that means. Is that like...
I think your wife might know. Your wife might know.
What does that mean?
I feel like she'll know.
She probably would know, actually.
You're so behind the times, Kevin. You're not hip.
Is this because she's younger than me?
Yeah. You're being detached.
She probably, yeah.
She knows the lingo.
No, I watch way too much YouTube to not know.
Emily's hip with the memes.
Yeah, she's a little bit more up on the memes than I am, to be honest. But here's what I think. I think the reason that people keep going back to these sideshows and these events is because of the danger factor, because of the adrenaline rush. And I think somebody put it well by saying these teenagers and like young adults keep going back because they want their 15 seconds of fame, right? I mean...
i.e. clout.
Is that what that is? All right. So we're on the same page. So, but like the whole reason, because like the danger factor, I think plays a huge role in why these things are still going on and why there's hundreds and hundreds of people at these. I mean, they're literally, you stand in a circle when you think about it around moving cars that are, I mean, in control, but mostly out of control, doing donuts. So, and then people are getting hit because you're getting close, and it's like the cool thing to get as close as you can to the cars that are going around. And then the other thing is going into the middle of the circle.
Because y'all want to get that world star
yeah, exactly.
shot, dude. They want to be featured on 818-1320.
Exactly. So that, and then you go into the middle of the circle, which is dangerous. And then you got people hanging out of the doors with the doors open and sitting in the bed of trucks that are getting flown out. So I think the danger, making it more risky, is a part of that adrenaline rush. And I think the crowd has a big, huge impact on why these things are still going. I mean, think about it. If there was no crowd, do you think these things would still be going on? Like if you had a concert, right, and you had a band playing and nobody ever showed up, you think that band would still be playing out there in that concert?
Well, in some cases, yes. Because that's what happened to Ed Sheeran. Shout out Ed Sheeran.
Was he playing in front of a no-show crowd?
Yeah, when he started, no one would come to his shows. And then all of a sudden...
All right, well, maybe that's a bad example then. But I really do think if like people stopped showing up to these things, that they would fizzle out and, you know, it would go away. But, I mean, there's so many people that it keeps it alive.
Yeah, but I get it, you know. Donuts are fun, but I feel like in the middle of an intersection it's kind of dangerous, you know?
Yeah.
Most people, and if you guys have done this, don't raise your hand, but as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by that mid-roll credit.
Jump cut.
That ad. Was I saying?
You're saying that people go to parking lots and
yeah, you've probably done it in the parking lot with no one around. You did like 2 or 3 donuts and then you just got out of there because you were afraid of the cops. Yeah. Which, you know, is still dangerous, but I feel like it's a lot safer if you did it in an empty parking lot. But that's what, you know, we would have done. But doing it with like a ton of people around, blocking traffic, people trying to get in there just to get that one viral video is very dangerous. And it's, in my opinion, dumb. Like, I understand street racing, you know, like red light racing, because you're proving something. And usually even any videos you've seen of street racing happening, it's usually a lot smaller of a crowd. And they're all on the sidewalk where they should be.
That's why they call it a sideshow, though, right? Because everybody's at a sideshow.
But the street, but at least on this, at the, these like drag racing things that they do on the street, like everyone's on the sidewalk chilling at a safe distance.
Yeah.
Or they're behind the cars. and they're going to go the opposite direction of them.
Either way, though, I mean, I don't
still
think
dangerous.
it's a
I'm not
great
saying-
idea. It's not. I still wouldn't condone that just because,
I'm not saying you should do that,
right?
you know.
But it is
But it does
not
happen.
as dangerous as the sideshows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But usually in the, like, I just don't see what the fun in that is. Like,
It's the danger. I think it
guess.
comes back to the danger. And I think that's another reason why, like I was saying before, people don't go to the tracks. Don't go to, like, what is it called? The burnout box. Why people don't go to that? Because is that free?
I think so. I think it's just maybe $10 to get in.
Okay, so not a big deal. But the thing with that is it's not nearly as dangerous, and you're not going to, have a video go viral of somebody getting hit or whatever, or hanging out of a door at a burnout box.
But it's the same thing as, like, if you've seen those friggin' burnouts in Australia, those things go viral, dude. They have tons
is that
of
in a
views.
burnout box?
Yeah, it's like a box, and it's just like a
like
car
a-
with a huge motor that just does a burnout. It's
Yeah, I remember
crazy.
seeing that on the Grand
But
Tour.
Australia's all about that life, and, like, they do it safe.
Yeah,
But for
exactly.
some reason, over here,
They're doing it right.
we got all these LA kids trying to pull out the inner Australian, and they're doing it in the middle of an intersection.
Yeah. It's it's just like, I think it, like I said, it just comes down to the danger, and, like, videos don't go viral unless there's some type of risk. People don't do stuff like that unless there's some type of risk, because risk equals adrenaline, and you can get addicted to adrenaline. The other thing I was going to bring up was, do you think that takeovers like this should be put on social media? Like, do you think that putting out videos of these takeovers is making the problem worse because people see them on social media and say, oh, that looks sick, I want to go?
Yeah, definitely social media is a big problem, but it is for every kind of issue,
Yeah.
because so much stuff gets put on social media every day that probably shouldn't be on social media.
Like, if accounts stopped posting the sideshow videos, do you think that would help the problem? Because I feel like it could.
Probably.
Because people stop seeing it. It stops creating clout, right? And if no more clout, no more problem.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, it's not that black and white, but I think that would help too. It's like, you don't want to censor anything and censor what you're showing. You want to show what's going on, but at the same time, like, are you adding to the problem? So that's something to think about. Let's see, did I miss anything? Let's talk about solutions.
Solutions?
As we're coming to an end here, I want to talk about solutions. Another thing I want to point out, I think in order to find a solution that everybody is going to be happy with, the car community needs to see this problem from a non-car person's perspective. Because when you just say, let us have our loud exhaust, shut up, I don't care what you think, I don't care that my car is loud or whatever, I don't care that we're doing burnouts and stuff, you don't get it, you don't understand. I keep referring to grandma, but it seems like the grandma is in the middle of all this. Maybe it's grandma, man.
It's that middle-aged white lady with
She doesn't
the
have
can I
enough
speak
clout.
to your manager haircut that just
Yeah.
wants to just ruin life for the rest of us.
But see, that's the
because
attitude.
Her husband doesn't show her the love she needs, so she has no other reason but to hate everyone.
Oof. Going deep with that.
Exactly.
But I think if we saw it from her perspective as to why, I think if she saw it from our perspective, we need to look at this from each other's perspective, because right now we're just firing at each other. And I think the non-car people don't understand why the car people are doing it. They're just saying, just don't do it then. Just don't have a loud exhaust. It sounds loud. It sounds bad. Like, anyway.
I don't think the non-car people even know what's going on.
You really? I mean, I think they're watching local news at 10 o'clock at night and seeing the
But
freeways being
I've
shut
never
down.
even heard any news stories about this new law happen.
No news places.
Every information or news thing that I've gotten of this has been by Instagram accounts and YouTubers.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a pretty like known common thing to like, oh, street racing is a problem in our community or whatever, and then they see a loud, exhaust car go by, and they're a part of the problem.
Yeah,
because they don't understand.
And I get it, because basically their way of doing it is probably hit them where it hurts. Hit them in their wallet.
Mm-hmm.
Get that $1,000 fine, but I just don't
they're
think
frustrated. They're mad.
I don't think that the exhaust is the way to do it. I mean, if I were to do it, I would treat it like kind of street racing as a criminal offense, to where maybe apply this 3 strikes rule to it, where you get so many times, and if you've been stopped for the same street racing thing multiple times, they can impound your car, crush it.
Crush it. That's frick.
Crush the car. They could do something where like you can't drive it anymore. I just had a friend of mine who he got an imported engine put into his MR2 and got pulled over, and because the engine was technically illegal, they pretty much marked him down to where his driver's license could not be associated with the VIN number of that car. Otherwise the car would be crushed automatically. Oof. So they could do that where it's like, you've been caught 3 times street racing in this car. That means that your license cannot be associated with this VIN number, meaning that the person basically has to sell the car.
Yeah.
And then otherwise, the next time they get pulled over, they're going to get caught. Now, at the same time, that could, probably turn out to have a lot more speeding pursuits because they don't want to lose their car. But it's like one of the ways. I know this is like kind of a smaller way to do it.
Yeah. I really just think one of the main things is like repeat offenders. If you have a record of driving reckless and a record of, I don't know.
Or I would even put like, what if they put boots on people who haven't paid their tags or whatever? Why not have government mandated like black boxes that if you've been caught for this, just like an ankle bracelet, they put something in your car that maybe either limits you to like these highest speed limit in the state. So let's say 65 is the speedway limit. So your car can only go 65 miles an hour, or if it exceeds a certain limit, it notifies police and then you automatically get a ticket.
Oof.
Things like that. And then boom, there's so many other ways that they could go about this to stop street racing and takeovers and stuff like that. They could even put cameras, just like CCTV cameras on every intersection to kind of, that would stop that. That way, even places that don't do that, a large gathering would alert
UK does
authorities.
That. UK has them everywhere, from what I know. They got those cameras on like every street corner. I think just toning it back a little bit, just dial it back, because we went a little bit too far extreme on this end.
Who do we think we are? Politicians? No, we're hot boys.
No, I will not be associated. But and the thing is, I think we just need to somehow educate the non-car people a little bit more and prove to them that we're not just reckless drivers.
True.
Because I think if, like, Brett, the non-car person, every time he sees, a loud exhaust,
he flips out, dude.
Yeah.
Flips out.
It's like it's a trigger for him. And I think a lot of people just like, they get frustrated and like they're like, why would you do that? There's no point. But obviously as car people we understand why, and we understand that there is a point. Now some people obviously don't do certain things, or they do certain things that don't make total sense to us, but there's a range in everything. There's going to be a range of people that do different things, and there's the good people and then the not so great people.
There's always bad people. Yeah,
there's some bad apples in every batch. So I want to shout a couple people out because I was doing a lot of research on or not research, but I was just watching other people's videos and looking at their perspective on what was going on. So HemiFam, he had a video out, really good video. His idea to kind of correct this was the repeat offenders. So that's where I got that idea from. Like anything like reckless drivers, people doing stupid stuff. If you're driving recklessly, then you have that much more chance of getting pulled over. So if you're driving normal, I think you're going to be okay. This law, I mean, everybody's freaking out right now, but I think honestly, if you're being responsible and respectful of the people around you, I think you're going to be okay. I don't think this is the end of the world. I don't think it's the end of the car community. I think if this was enforced like crazy, like literally $1,000 fine, $1,000 fine,
like
boom,
Nazi
boom, boom,
cops,
boom.
dude.
Yeah, if it was like that, I think it could potentially mean the end of motorsport in California. But there's so many companies out here. I don't think they're going to let that happen. Another person, Vanta Blacked, I think. He's a Mustang owner in Arizona. He put up a video and basically talked about how he was filming a video in Arizona and a sheriff pulled up and he actually got to talk to the Arizona sheriff about this California law. And the sheriff expressed that he didn't think this was a good way to go about things because, like we said, you're looping in and punishing a large group of people for the actions of only a few people out of that large. I mean, obviously, it's a lot of people that are doing stupid stuff, but compared to the amount of people who aren't doing stupid stuff, it's a small group of people. So, it just goes to show that some cops are like, this is dumb. But, if they're in California, they have to enforce it, or maybe they'll be more lenient.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, in conclusion, should you be worried and sell your exhaust and put the stock one back on? I'm gonna leave that up to you because I feel like the reason why it wasn't super enforced before was because I feel like it was just kind of a lot more paperwork for a police officer to do. So I had kind of a list of technicality tickets that I like to call them add-on tickets. And these are things like your exhaust system, window tints, maybe your wheels poking out too far from your fenders. Maybe it's too low. Different things like that. Look, the stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that for a police officer to write you a ticket, he has to do so much paperwork, and then if you choose to fight it, he has to show up in court, and he's just kind of I don't know, like wasting his time as an officer now if he has to do his thing. There was a movie, and if you haven't seen it, it's called Colors. It stars Dustin Hoffman and Robert Duvall. They're like kind of like it's like a cop show or cop movie, but you have like a veteran cop and then this like rookie cop who just came out of the
academy.
The academy.
Okay.
And they're riding along at this one time, and he sees this one dude like jaywalking or spray painting, and the older cop is driving, and so he gets all gung ho. He's like, "Let's get him! Like, let's get this dirt bag, whatever." And the veteran cop just keeps driving, and he's like, "What? Why didn't we do that?" And he was like, if we go after every little petty crime, we're not gonna have time for the big stuff that actually could save lives." And I think that's what cops, as much as there are some bad cops out there, but I think some cops will realize that this is kind of dumb. Like, why waste my time with this if they're not doing anything wrong?
Right.
But you will have. I'm not saying that it's a guarantee that you're not going to get pulled over, because you will have those, by the book cops who want to get you on everything.
Yeah.
But the reason I call them add-on tickets is because usually I feel like if you got pulled over for something major, like running a stop sign or a light or driving recklessly or being just an idiot, and if the cop was in a bad mood or you were like being a jerk to the cop, then he would, to kind of spite you, he would tack that on. That's why I call them an add-on ticket. They'd be like, hey, your window tints are illegal, or your exhaust is too loud, or open your hood, let me see what you got under there.
Right.
And that's what they would do, just because they already were going to give you a ticket for speeding. Now let me make your life even worse because you're being an idiot. So I feel like even now, obviously if you have, a really loud exhaust, maybe tone it back. But if you have just like a regular catback or axle back exhaust, as long as you're not being, a show off, I don't think you're going to get pulled over. But if you're revving, if you're, speeding past a cop or something like that,
running red lights in front of cops,
they'll probably pull you over and get you on that exhaust law. But for the most part, like I work like a block away from a police station. I've driven by them a couple times and I haven't been pulled over yet.
CHP is right here, near where we are right now. So, I mean, you could get pulled over tonight.
I could.
So just think about that when you're driving home.
But I just think, and I have on my car Borla attacks, which are like the loudest catback exhausts or axleback exhausts you can get before going straight pipe.
Mm.
And now luckily mine, apparently the science behind those is they're acoustically tuned. That's what like a TAC stands for. There's some kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
So they're kind of quieter, and then when you get on it, they get louder. But I think even for mine, like, I don't think that I'll get pulled over unless I really try to get pulled over. And then it just means the consequences have been upped. So that's that. But I don't think that as long as I'm being kind of responsible and not driving reckless and staying in those high RPMs all the time, then I probably won't get pulled over.
Yeah. It's going to be okay. We're all going to be okay.
I think so. Plus, if we can get this law revoked reversed or repealed,
great. Just at least get the correction back, the correctability of it back, or I think you had the option to even pay off the $1,000 if you really didn't want to correct it. But yeah, I think that's like the main thing. If we can get that removed, that would be great. But I think we're gonna be okay. Just don't be dumb. Be respectful. And the other thing is, I was gonna mention as well. I think his channel's name is Eddie Nuff Said. He's got a really nice black WRX. I don't know. I don't remember what year it is, but
so I think it's a Blob-eye.
Yeah, I think it's a Blob-eye. That sounds right. Him and his friend took their cars, which are definitely modified heavily, to the CHP. I don't know what city it was in, but to the CHP office, parked literally backed in out front of their office. And they went and talked to the CHP about this. And the guy that they talked to was really nice, really cool. Now, he didn't know, and he admitted to not being 100% brushed up on the law. But he basically said the same thing as what we're saying is, just don't be dumb. If you see what he said, like a Honda Fit, and it sounds ridiculous, then obviously, that gives them a reason to pull over the Honda Fit because they know what a Honda Fit from the factory is supposed to sound like. But yeah, he didn't seem too concerned about it. He came out and looked at their cars and they're like, yeah, I appreciate you guys doing what you're doing. And that was pretty encouraging to see. So yeah, I think that's about it. The world's not over. The car community is not going to end. Even though it may seem like it. Everything's going to be
okay.
Everything's going to be okay.
As long as we are responsible adults.
Yes.
And or children, mature children. Those of you who are 16, just got your license, freshies. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You wanted to get that sick Honda.
Yeah.
Just maybe think about it before you buy that NVIDIA exhaust.
And don't go to the sideshows. I know most of you probably do not, but just don't go to them. Don't support them. Because the sooner we can get rid of that, the sooner we can forget about this problem that we're having. So, at least that's my thought.
We just got to get more tracks in California.
More tracks, yeah. Just give us more tracks.
We have 3 tracks.
Give us so many tracks we don't know which one to pick, and I mean, there's lots of space out. I mean, heck, Fillmore. When you're driving through Fillmore,
Bakersfield.
That is Bakersfield. There is so much land out there. It could be just tracks everywhere. So that's a solution for you. Just make more tracks, more burnout boxes. You could put cardboard people around in a circle, so you can hit as many people as you want. Cardboard people.
Mustang people, are you hearing this?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's a solution. So anyways, anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Are we good?
Stay tuned for next time when we kind of give you the information of other silly laws around this country. Silly vehicle codes.
That will be an interesting one. That's what we're going to do next, kind of in the theme of laws and car laws. So that'll be a fun one. Last time we did a podcast, we said we were going to shout out people who said what their cars were. We didn't do
thought
that.
I forgot about that, Kevin?
Did you not forget about that? I forgot about that.
No.
I just remembered right now. So while Jordan's pulling that up, I will create some hype. Heck yeah, Chrome.
Safari's all you need, boy.
No, Safari boy.
Safari's good. Fast.
Tomorrow, by the time you guys see this, I will have already had it. I don't know when we're going to upload this video, but by the time you guys see this, I will have already gotten the mod that is going to go on the WRX. It is extremely exciting because I'm going against everything that this new California law or this revised California law is trying to prevent, but definitely adding more power to the WRX. So stay tuned for that if I haven't uploaded that already. All right, so we asked you last time on the episode 1 of NVRCast to give us your car lineup. What cars have you owned? And we said we would shout out the most interesting lineup, or maybe we'll shout out a couple. If there's a couple, looks like there are a couple interesting ones. So I don't know. You say one first, and then I'll say one.
So Jada ST1 or STI.
STI.
His list is pretty interesting. Very, very, very JDM, except for the one American car in his list. His first starts out with a 97 Honda Accord.
All right, keeping it simple.
Don't know if it was a coupe or a four-door. I'm guessing the coupe, the two-door version. The one that kind of that wants to be an NSX, but isn't. Then he moved up. He upgraded to a 2000 Eclipse GT.
Ooh, that was the car back in 2000. That was the car.
Then picked up that nice Dodge SRT4 Neon, or just SRT4.
Those are cool.
Those are pretty cool. I've driven by one that had a crazy wastegate. Went with the IS350, which is pretty good. He doesn't say if it was an F Sport, but if it was, that's the one to get. And then he's finally now with his WRX STI from 2017.
All right.
Pretty cool. Fan of that.
Nice little gradient of cars. All right, so I'm just going to go with, let's do Braden Galvin. That's a cool name, Braden. Starting out with a 2003 350Z. That's always a cool car to have as your first car, 350Z, starting it out right.
Pretty cool. Tokyo Drift.
Then going drastically different with a 2013 Mustang. That must have been pretty exciting as your second car. Then going old school with the 1991 240 SX. I don't know if that was that a project car or was that just...
Yeah, Braden's got an interesting kind of roller coaster of cars here.
Yeah.
He's got the 350, which is pretty cool. Then he upgrades to that Mustang. Now I understand...
What happened to the Mustang?
13 S197s, weren't the greatest handling cars, but with some work, they could get there. I mean, the Boss was one of the best handling S197s there were. And I get the 240SX, great drift car. It's JDM fanboy life, I mean, it's not as great as a Supra, but it's definitely up there with those, with Evos and Panda GT86 or AE86s,
I have no idea what you're saying right now. But I'm trusting that it makes sense to this person.
So I get that potentially as a project car. Don't know as a daily if you want to drive the 240SX, but maybe.
And then going
the 18 WRX.
Yeah, and then going with the WRX.
That one strikes me. And I'm not hating on the WRX fanboys out here. I just, you see the 13 Mustang, right? 400 horsepower, fast. 240SX, yes, it's slow, but if you were hoping to swap an RB in there, nice turbo RB, something in there, could be pretty cool, pretty fast. WRX though.
All right.
There's not too much power in that car.
Well, potentially. And you got
still,
all-wheel drive. That's
limited.
the only all-wheel drive on the list.
I think 400 horsepower is your kind of max.
Maybe you wanted to go rally. You can't rally in a Mustang or in a Z or in an SX. You can't do that. Maybe it's a rally car.
You can rally in a 350Z.
Oh, I guess you can.
If you want to see that happening, look up Blackout. It's a good series. Building 25K builds.
Plug.
Shameless plug.
I don't know why it's a plug, but it's a plug.
Blackout. Look it up on YouTube. It's pretty good.
So yeah, that's it. I like that one because it reminds me of us a little bit because you got the Mustang for now, and
WRX.
we got the WRX. So
hopefully he still has that 240 though.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That's a keeper.
But if you sold it, bet you're regretting that decision, aren't you, Braden? Bet you're regretting that.
Regarding that. Oh, camera is low on battery, so we got to close this out. If you guys have any questions or concerns or comments or ideas, solutions, anything at all,
or you just want to vent, you know what I mean?
Just
cry your
vent it
heart out,
out.
just vent it out.
And that boba's coming up again, huh?
Yep. Just pour your heart out in the comment section down below. And we'll read it, we'll like it, we'll love it, we'll reply back to you because we love you guys.
We're coming up on an hour. Jeez, this is longer than the last one. Yeah, so leave a like if you guys enjoy this NVRCast series. If you want to see anything else, let us know in the comments as well. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out neverfinished.com to pick up your Never Finished merchandise. Got posters, hats, stickers, and shirts. So for all your Never Finished needs, check it out there. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Close us out, Jordan. Close us out.
Like we always say, we are never finished, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.